안녕하세요 여러분들. Hello and welcome to, let's see, what episode is this today? This is episode 56 of Korean with David. So today we're going to go over a little bit of basic Korean grammar. Now in this way, I got to tell you, I'm not that strong in grammar in Korean, but because I've spoken so much for so long and I'm pretty fluent enough, I want to go over some basic things. So when it comes to the Korean language with grammar, there's kind of strange because there's no wrong way to say anything, but the order should be very clear. Like, did you eat? 밥 먹었어요? We can ask it differently where it's like, 당신 먹었어요? Like, you eat. And that's what would it translate to. Now, 당신 is kind of another way to say you. Now, we could also say, 니 먹었니? Which is like, 니 is you. And then, did you eat? Everything so far has been like the person and then the verb. So it's like the noun verb. So, 당신, 너, 니, 나. And then, 밥 먹었어? 먹었어? It's all followed in that way. Now, when it comes to that way, 먹었어 나, it doesn't make sense. We can't switch it around. Because if we said 먹었어 나, like I ate, I did, even though people understand it, it is wrong grammatically. Now, when it comes to, is there a difference between like I, you, a formal you, he, she, they, them, us? A lot of times there is 우리, us, but it's also like we. 우리 먹었어, we ate, not us ate. So a lot of times 우리 and we, 우리 is same as we and us, but how we say it is different. So 우리 먹었어, we ate. 우리 갔어, we went. 우리 거, it's ours. Ours, us, we is all used in the same way in Korean. It's 우리. But when it comes to like me, there's 나, which is I. There's 내, or like 내꺼, which is mine. We've also got 저는, 저 is like me, but it's also a different way of saying it. There's you, 당신, 너, 너는, 니. And it's all works in that way. Now, when it comes to he, she, it, the best way, 얘는. 얘는 is like them. But it's more in a formal way. If we say that 걔는, it's kind of a bad meaning sometimes, so people tend to stay away from saying 걔는. So we say 얘는 or 얘. In this way, people understand it's a formal he, she, or it. We don't have to be exactly descriptive of it. Now, we could go more detailed saying like 어머니들, mothers, 아버지들. 들 is like more than one person, so it's like them. It's a plural. 학생들, students. 선생님들, teachers. There are different ways we add it, but if we add 들, 니들, you all, 우리들 doesn't work. It doesn't go in the same way, but it's 우리를. Now, in this way, it also has a different meaning. So with the Korean grammar, it's kind of hard to talk about like in English, it's like noun, verb, like subject, verb. It's kind of similar, but when it comes to conjugating verbs, it's so much easier. A lot of the past is always like 뭐뭐 했어, 밥 먹었어, 마셨어, 갔어. It all conjugates in the same way. Right now, in the present tense, we'd say like 먹고 있어, I'm eating. 마시고 있어, I'm drinking. 자고 있어, I'm sleeping. It all stays the same. 뭐뭐 있어. In the future tense, it's the same. 할 거야, 잘 거야, I'm going to sleep. 먹을 거야, I'm going to eat. 갈 거야, I'm going to go. And it's all in the future tense. So when it comes to conjugating verbs, it's so much easier than it is in English. But when you start saying it, really you should try to think of it like who and then what are they doing? Now, when it comes to answering those kind of questions like 밥 먹었어요? Did you eat? Of course, we can say yes or no. If we stick with yes, then like 네, 밥 먹었어요 or 네, 먹었어요. It's almost the exact same as their question, but we don't ask it in the question. Now, again, I'm not an expert on Korean grammar. This is from my own experience and from what I've practiced talking and speaking. This seems to be the best way to think of it. In English, it doesn't translate well to Korean with grammar, but sometimes the rules make sense. So if you stick with the noun and then the verb, it'll work out, and most people will try to understand anyways. So I hope that kind of helps you guys out. I know it's not an easy situation or easy thing to learn, but it does take lots of practice, and you want to just try as much as you can. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, feel free to rate what you think this episode was like or this podcast is like on whatever listening, wherever you listen to it. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email at learnkoreanwithdavid@gmail.com and check out our Instagram at learnkoreanwithdavidig. Thanks for listening. 다음에 봐요.